I never thought that I'd be the kind of person to be sitting here writing, "My roommate stole my identity." And yet, here I am, writing these words out in utter shock. 12 months ago, I would have laughed if you'd informed me the woman I shared the kitchen with would ruin my credit. I thought that I was a good judge of character. I thought that I was sensible. I guess you never really know someone until you see what they're capable of when you believe they are not watching. It started with a letter. Just a white envelope, no proposal, nothing unusual to me. I almost tossed it in the recycling bin with all the spam mail, but the return address, some bank I had never heard of, caught my eye. I opened it, maybe for a credit card offer. But inside, a welcome letter for a personal loan. My name, my address, but a loan that I never requested. My gut overflowed. I read the letter once again, sure that I must have made the whole thing up. Error? Individual with the same name? But the final 4 digits of my social were printed there on the page. I chilled. I called the bank and worked through a maze of hold music and security questions before they rendered the verdict. A $7,500 loan, approved last week, already paid out. I sat on my bed, holding the phone in my hand, attempting to retrieve. I was always so cautious with my information. I didn't even have my social security card in the apartment. I panicked, thinking about all the different ways that a person would steal an identity. Was it on the internet? Was I phished? I checked my credit report and voila, a new account opened in my name. I didn't want it to be someone I knew. But in hindsight, I knew one person who had access to my home at all times, my roommate, Jess. We'd been roommates for almost a year. She was pleasant, somewhat sloppy, but nothing out of the ordinary. We'd shared bills, groceries, even watched trash on TV together. I never even thought twice about leaving mail sitting on the kitchen counter or having my laptop sitting out in the living room. Then I recalled, a week or so previously, Jess had requested to borrow my laptop because hers wouldn't connect to the Wi-Fi. I had assented, without much pause. She was in my room for almost an hour, purportedly completing a job application. I had phoned from another room and hadn't even passed through her area. Now I was wondering whether it's where she'd found my stored files, possibly a tax return, possibly a copy of my social security card I'd gone and taken for some onboarding gig. I was sick. I had to go speak with her, but I was scared. What if I was wrong? What if it was some kind of rogue hacker? But I knew it in my stomach. The timing, the access, the way she'd been keeping me at arm's length in recent weeks, it all clicked. I spent the remainder of the evening flipping, surfing the web for horror stories about identity theft, wondering how much worse it could get. Would I lose my apartment? Would my credit be ruined forever? I didn't sleep a single wink that night. The next morning, I knew I had to do something, but had no clue where to start. I woke up the next morning, disoriented and worried, my mind working a mile a minute full of worst-case scenarios. Jess was already making coffee in the kitchen, giving the impression that nothing had occurred. I sat there for a moment staring at her, trying to catch her off guard and be guilty, but she just smiled and asked me if I wanted some. My heart was pounding so loudly, I could have sworn she was hearing it. I decided to keep cool, at least until I had a better idea. I took the day off work and spent the day calling around, to the bank, to the credit bureaus, to the police. Trying to report it was like reporting on someone else's life. The officer was polite but unvarnished. 9 times out of 10, it's somebody you know. That stung. I started going through my own files, looking for something that would have vanished. That is when I noticed a folder on my computer, one I did not make. It was hidden within my documents, named Taxes 2023. There were copies of my driver's license, social security card, and even an invoice. I never compiled those. My stomach curdled. Jess must have made that folder when she was using my computer. I snapped pictures and stored every bit of evidence on a flash drive. I knew that I needed to talk to her, but I was afraid to do so. What if she lied to me? What if she lost her temper? I practiced what I would say 1,000 times, but when she walked in the door that evening, I said nothing. She was loquacious, chatting away about her day, inviting me in for pizza. I was going to drop it. I had recalled the loan, the poor credit, and I couldn't keep quiet. "Jess, can I have a word?" My voice shook. She was taken aback but acquiesced. I showed her the letter from the bank. "You wrote this?" I gasped. She stood there, pale-faced, looking at the letter. For a second, I thought she was going to own up to it. But then she shook her head. "No, of course not. Why would I do that?" I produced the folder from my laptop. "You did this. When you were on my laptop." She gazed at the screen and then me. I have no idea what this is. Maybe you wrote it and forgot. I felt a rush of anger and sorrow. I wanted to believe her, but couldn't. The proof was too clear-cut. Jess, I've already contacted the police. They are going to investigate it. If it was you, you must own up to it now. She started crying, swearing she was innocent, would never do this. I almost believed her. And then she opened a bag and was gone out of the apartment without uttering another word. I sat on the couch in shock. I didn't know what to do next. I was upset, betrayed, and somehow at fault, as if I had pressed too hard. But I also knew that I could not simply leave it alone. The days following Jess's departure were a blur. I continued expecting her to turn up, call me, sort things out. She didn't. The flat felt emptier than ever, and I could never do anything but breathe a sigh of relief, mixed with sadness, whenever I walked past her closed bedroom door. I missed the friend that I thought I had, but I felt safer with her away. I spent dozens of hours on the telephone with banks and credit bureaus, freezing my credit, disputing the loan, and asking for fraud alerts. It was exhausting and humiliating to have to explain again and again that someone whom I trusted had done this to me. They were gracious mostly, but a few of them sounded skeptical, as if maybe I was lying about it all. That hurt worse than I had expected. My parents were uptight, but I knew that they were. My mother was constantly whining about whether or not I wanted to return home, but I couldn't afford to lose my independence. I had worked so hard to build my life here, and I did not want what Jess had done to deny me that as well. Work was a nightmare. I was distracted, stressed out, and behind on all my work. My manager noticed that and came over to me. I wept and told her the whole story. She was kinder than I expected, and she let me take a couple of days off to get myself together again. That little gesture of kindness meant more to me than words could ever say. One night, a week or so after, I got a text message on a number that didn't appear on anyone in my phone book. It was Jess. She said sorry, that she had been an idiot, that she was scared and didn't know what to do. She didn't actually say anything, but the guilt stayed. She begged me to forgive her, to speak with her. I did not know what to do. Part of me wanted to scream at her, scream questions, scream at her, and make everything all right again. But part of me was so tired. I did not want to have to live with this fury for the rest of my life. I said something to her, told her I needed some time, hoped she would do the honorable thing and admit to the police. Then slowly, I started to improve. I realized that I couldn't prevent Jess from doing what she wanted, but I could control how I acted. I focused on taking care of myself, eating healthy foods, taking a walk, having a phone conversation with the friends. Eventually, the anxiety came back down. I also gained a lot of insight into myself during those weeks. I learned that I am stronger than I knew, that I can allow people to assist me when I need them, and that releasing people who hurt you is okay, even if you do love them. I still don't know what is going to happen with the loan or Jess, but I do know I'll be okay either way. That's taken me a few months, and everything is now returning to normal. The police case is still ongoing, but I no longer get news about it. At some point, the bank reversed the loan after being given all of the proof, and my credit is gradually rebuilding. Each time I reopened my accounts, I was nervous again, but I'm getting to the point where I'm trusting myself again. I gained a new roommate, brought over by a friend of a friend. Her name is Maya, and she's nothing like Jess, introverted, polite, and near-compulsively clean. We established boundaries immediately, and now I keep all of my valuables locked away. It's not the hippie-style living environment I was accustomed to, but it is secure, and that matters. In hindsight, I still rage and lament what happened. I miss the bond of friendship which I thought I had with Jess, but come to understand that I deserve far better. I am less trusting now, but never allowed that bitter me to consume me. If anything, it turned me into a better person. You never really know what another human being is going to do or capable of until you see them at their worst. I've started volunteering at a local community center, helping people who've been through similar situations. It feels good to use what I've learned to help others, to turn something painful into something positive. I've met some amazing people, and it's reminded me that there's a lot of good in the world, even when things feel dark. Sometimes I still think about what happened to Jess. I hope she gets the help that she needs, and that she understands how her behavior hurts other people. I don't think I'll ever get closure, but I am trying to be okay with that. Life isn't going to always give you neat endings, but it is going to give you the gift of being able to begin again. If you're reading this and feeling the same, know that you're not alone. It's fine to need help, to put boundaries in place, and to look after yourself. You can get through this, even when you don't feel like it now. I did, and I'm stronger for it. If this story inspired or benefited you, please like it and share your opinion in the comments section below. Have you ever been betrayed by someone you love? How did you cope with it? Don't forget to subscribe for more real stories and advice. And remember, you're never alone. Help is always around the corner. Thanks for watching.